Hello everybody. Well, it's time to do another little short review on another sub-ohm tank. Today we're going to be doing it on the Tobeco Super Tank. This is one of their first authentic sub-ohm tanks. Pretty nice little package it comes in. This one is in the black. The only thing that does come with this is the tank and 2 coils. Nothing else. Nothing's under there. So, it does come in 4 colors. It comes in a black, blue, gold, and stainless color. And this is the tank. It holds 4 ml of juice. It has 2 different airflow settings, same on both sides. Got real large ones, and then cycles down to these smaller ones. The airflow control knob to this is, if you can almost hear it, it sounds a little, sounds like there's some grit behind it or something. I don't really know, but it moves fairly easy. I have to point one thing out though on this tank. I got this from eCity, and right off the bat, I'll give you the price point. It's $19.95. It is a cheap tank. So with that price is going to come build quality. You're not going to get, you're getting a pretty decent tank, but you know, the quality of the product is just not maybe as up to par as some of these other tanks. But we'll go into all that. One thing I dislike right off the bat, where it's laser etched Super Tank. Not a fan of that at all. It sticks out. It makes the tank look kind of generic to me. I'm not a big fan of that, but you know, there could have been a better thought plan to that, but like I said, you know, I just don't care for that. But the cosmetics to the tank is not bad. I like how the coloring is. It looks pretty good, you know, sitting on some of my devices. But probably the biggest selling point to this, it's top fill. And everybody's going to top fill nowadays. And the top fill to this tank, you know, it's nice, easy, nothing crazy. Has this little aluminum head that sits on top of it. It has these fins on there that's supposed to, I guess, dissipate heat, but that is another flaw. This tank gets hot, real hot. So hot that out of all my sub-ohm tanks, and I've got a bunch of them, none of them put off the heat like this does. And that's vaping at between 50 to 55 watts on a 0.2 coil. And if any of y'all know, I mean, a 0.2 coil can handle a lot of wattage and not get just crazy hot. This thing will. So it does have a little removable drip tip. It's a little shorty. It's been pressed. It's got this little Delron insulator that the metal was pressed onto. Now, I suggest right off the bat, if you chain vape and you decide to get this tank, you need to get a full-on Delron drip tip for this thing, because that thing gets hot. It's just unreal. Also, another thing, this thing has got a huge chimney in there. So one thing I did notice, and I put it to the test, especially last night, I ran some real high VG juice through this. It keeps up a little bit. I did get a little dry, well, you know, just a little it hit me. It hit me a little hard at one point, choked me up a little bit. So I know I got a dry head off of it because I just couldn't keep up. But it's not bad on real high VG, but you're really probably going to want to be somewhere on the 70-30 mix, doing this tank. I think it's probably going to keep up better in that aspect. But let's go on down, take a look at it. I'll show you some stuff on it, and we'll get back. So here's the tank. A big concern with this tank, well, not so much even a concern, but I noticed a lot of people that have purchased this tank, the first thing they were saying, it is a living nightmare to get this thing open. It takes a little bit to get it open. Now, when I first got mine opened right up. So I'm either super strong or somebody tampered with my box and opened it and then put it back in and didn't put it on tight. Whichever it might be, uh, mine was not a problem getting open. But, and I'm not ashamed to say, I just was trying to film this review and it was my third to fourth time opening it. It got hung up. It would not open for me. It just kept spinning. And when I finally did come open, my coil was still attached to the chimney and it just spun out like that, which that I don't care for. So let me go ahead, which now it's going to do right because I don't have it on there tight. That's not good. That's not good when something like that happens. So beware. There is issues of getting this open. Somehow it either forms just a hellacious seal on there, and I don't know what's going on with it. But just be warned when purchasing this tank that that can be a problem. Now, one thing with this tank, it accepts Atlantis coils. Pretty much what tank does it nowadays. I will be going to that. I am going to get some Atlantis coils for this, but if you notice right there, let me get my camera to focus, you can see that the coil, at least the 0.2, is a parallel coil. Trying to get in focus here, folks. You can see that it is a parallel coil. Now that little spit back screen that they put in there, I'm going to tell you something also on this. It does do a little spitting back, even with that on there. That's not a fail-safe thing, and I have noticed a little gurgling out of this tank when I've used it. The way I fixed it was by cranking up the wattage a little bit more, and it seemed to go away for a while, but, it has come back off and on. So we know that we have different coils we can use. A deal breaker on this tank could be, though, for people, the factory coils that come with this do have that wicking material. I don't know what it is, a silica or something that's in the cotton. So it is not a true Japanese organic cotton in these coils. It is what's in the old Atlanta style coils. So that could turn people off real quick. Now, this is the only coil I plan on using with this tank, so I'm going to probably use it till it's not any good and then just roll on with it. But not really a whole lot to see on the tank. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. We're going to put some juice in her, and we're going to vape on her because y'all haven't heard me talk about that yet. So, there you go. Let's go back up. Alright, take this top off. Put a little serial killer in it. And I'll show you how easy this is. With pretty much any of these tanks, this top fill. So, now I'm going to tell you this because I haven't said this yet. I put that higher VG in here last night, and this thing was hitting like a dripper. I was throwing some clouds around with this thing last night. And the flavor was pretty good too. But, you know, it does have that crap in the cotton or whatever. And, some people are just turned away with that and are not going to mess with that. So, I'm going to be running this on the IPv3 Li today. Still loving this box. Great box. So, we're going, you can see where we're at. Running this one at 55 watts. It's coming in at 0.27. Actually at 0.24. Got my resistance reset. So, it'll throw some cloud now. But if you notice when I was hitting on it, you're hearing kind of like a loud gurglish noise to it. Let me do it again. Not a fan of that at all. But I can crank the wattage up and it normally clears that out. Something I found out about this tank, and I'm a big stickler for this on sub-ohm tanks. This joker's loud. I did one on that iSub G. That thing's just loud as hell. I don't care for tanks that just are that loud. I mean, using a tank like this, the Freemax, which you see this in all my videos, this tank to me is perfect. I have yet to find one yet that just will outdo this tank. But, for price point, it does, put out some pretty good vapor. Flavor on it's good. And like I said, when I throw in the Atlantis coils on it, that I'll see how that goes with it too. What I am going to do, I'm going to go ahead and crank this up just to show you what it will do. I'm going to just go ahead and put it at 70 watts. So, man, I got a glare going here. Oh, excuse me. So you see 70 watts. It'll throw them. Get a storm going up in here. But, all right, final thoughts. It's a pretty good tank for a starter. Now, one thing I have to agree with some others, there is no marking on this box at all for beginners that, if they just bought this tank, they wouldn't know what wattage to use on the coils, they would really need to ask questions about it. They could be left in the dark on it. If you've been vaping a while, you know limitations to what coils will do, what wattages you need to be at. And even when I know, sometimes I double check just to be on the safe side. I'm not some crazy looking to do something stupid out there, but there's no markings on the box, which that kind of sucks. You want to be safe doing this stuff, but it's nice for a newbie. I don't even mind having it just in the collection. I can't say that this is not going to be my everyday user. I do have a Crown tank coming in today, though, and that could be my new everyday user. But and I'll also be doing a review on that pretty soon. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence again with this. Normally, I give all my tanks a pretty good rating, other than Milo. Can't stand it. It just sits there for more of a look than anything. But I'll probably pick this tank up from time to time and use, but I might even use it more if I put the Atlantis coils in and see how they run, if it's a good thing. It could be something a little bit better, but Top fill's not a bad option either. They've made that pretty simple. Um, I could see where there's a little work that needs to be done on this one though, but it does. Now, I will say this, and I did not think there was a tank that could drink juice faster than the Sub Tank Nano. This thing looks like you've got a cup in your hand with a straw and you're sucking it down. I mean, I've gone through some juice quick in this one. So, like I said, it's got as good points as bad points. This one might possibly have a little bit more bad points to it than good out of all my tanks, but would I recommend this for a newbie? Of course. You can't. I mean, if you went out, you spent 19 bucks on it, you used it, you didn't like it. I mean, I don't think 19 bucks is going to break the bank if you didn't care for it. You could probably turn around and sell it to somebody, but I don't know what long term use is going to be off of it. And like I said, it's not too bad of a tank though. But well, folks, that's all I really got on this one. I'd like to thank all my subscribers out there. I'd like to thank future ones that are coming. I got reviews coming. I've been slacking there a little bit, but I got more coming. And then just to give you a little preview, I do have the Crown tank coming. Been waiting on that one for a long time and finally got my hands on one. And I got a few extra goodies coming along that I'll share at the time of when I get it. I've also got the Sigeli 75 watt coming, so I'm getting pretty excited to get my hands on that one. That looks like it's going to be a nice little stealthy device and probably about the wattage area that I like, but it's got temp control and I do love that. But that's about all I got today, folks. Y'all have a great day out there, and we'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.